Hey everybody, welcome to the Evangelist Nick Garrett channel. One of the series we're doing on the side is every Bishop of Rome, Pope of Rome, leader of the Eastern Orthodox Church. We're doing them in order. Right now we're on the fourth alleged Bishop of Rome. We did video on Peter. We did a video on Linus. We did one on Cletus. And now we are on Clement I, the fourth Bishop of Rome. Clement was a Roman from Celian Hill, the son of Faustinius. He occupied the bishopric for, the Liber Pontificalus says 9 years, 2 months, 10 days. But as we've said before, we can't necessarily trust the dates of Liber, but it does give us a good idea. We could say, okay, they served almost a decade. That said, he's considered one of the first handful of apostolic fathers of the church, along with people like Polycarp and Ignatius of Antioch. He was the first bishop to write many popular books read by Christians that stuck. There's a lot of truth surrounding Clement because we have writings that are known to us today by him. And we have verification of him from many of the early church fathers. A great deal of focus is spent on him for this reason. He's the closest to the apostolic fathers that were actually with Christ. He wrote an epistle to James, wrote an epistle to the Corinthians. Archaeologists are comfortable with their discoveries of his home, located underneath two churches built in subsequent centuries, dating as late as the 4th century. Now, Clement's writing made their legitimate presence to the national stage when they were discovered in the 1600s. The Patriarch of Constantinople gave a copy of Clement's epistle to the Corinthians to the King of England, an early version of it. The cool part is that once the letter had been studied, it was revealed to have been dated to about 95 AD. So that's around the same period as many of the books of the New Testament were being written. It also talked about a schism taking place in the church that early because some of the younger bishops had kind of staged a coup and were trying to take over from the older bishops. So it's neat to see those dynamics taking place, only 60, 70 years after the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. One cool thing we see in the writings of Clement is a window into how preaching was done back in those early days. We get hints of it from Peter, Stephen, and Paul, but Clement further affirms a lot of preaching from the Old Testament, but now through the lens that these prophecies have been fulfilled in Jesus Christ, and a lot of the earliest preaching was done that way. It's very cool and powerful to know that. Now, here's where we begin to get attempts by Rome to claim authority much earlier than they did, if they ever had it. Clement I was given credit for creating 7 church districts and writing the 2 epistles that were known to be attributed to the Roman bishop Fabianus in the 3rd century. Thank God for Duquesne and the people who edited the Liber Pontificalus and were smart enough to figure these things out. Now, why would such a thing be done, right? They would do that so that they could claim preeminence and build up their story of apostolic succession, basically. Now, he was known to have written those couple of epistles we talked about. He was a legit guy. In fact, it might not even be his fault that those letters turned up. He might have been long dead, and those letters were written in his name later. So eventually he was martyred under Trajan, and he was buried in Greece in 99 AD. Irenaeus and Tertullian say that he took over the bishopric in about 88. And died in 99. So we see there is a little bit of accuracy there in Liber that said 9 years, 2 months, 10 days. And here we have 2 early church fathers verifying that it was about a decade. Not the first one, though, not to be buried with Peter, Linus, and Cletus on the Vatican before it became the city-state Vatican in the 20th century. Anyway, Next time, we'll take a look at the 5th bishop, Anacletus, if that was really him and it wasn't just a wrong name for the 3rd bishop. And if not, we'll find who the next one was. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great one. Thanks for being on this journey with me and learning these things. Look forward to talking to you next time. May your work today bear fruit.